All right, so we're officially recording. Thank you for coming to today's epic LifeBinder meeting. Sorry, my camera's not sharing right now. Technology is not cooperating, but I can share my screen, which is the most important thing for right now anyways. So can you guys see my screen here? Yes, okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So, we got Brittany Quidang. Welcome, Brittany. You're just in time. I'm getting right into this. I'll leave. Oh, and Jennifer Pearl. Wow, so great to have such powerful all-star people in the room. So I'm very grateful to have you guys. So this is the first of the regular series of, we're calling them LifeBinder meetings. It's a meeting about creating daily rituals that will enhance your life. Right now, I'm calling this the LifeBinder Inner Tribe, which is what you guys are. There'll be a half an hour of a very powerful mindset lesson that revolves around the daily rituals. And then for people that are just here for that, you can always log off. And then for the people that are into the business aspect of it, basically the beta group that's helping me create this, giving feedback, playing a different role, whether it's accounting, business development, marketing, whatever it is, the development of the actual binder itself that we're creating together. That will be the second half hour. So the whole thing will be an hour. You can do the first 30 minutes, you can do the second 30 minutes, or both. So here's the platform, what it'll look like every week, right? So epic meetup format is this. Part one is a weekly training. It's kind of like a battery recharge, right? Getting our mindset refocused, all getting on the same page again, and then having an open discussion. So it's 3 parts. There's a welcome, which we already kind of welcomed each other into the room. Part 2 is a 10 to 15 minute deep dive into some epic training, whatever that is for the week. So that may include mindset. It might include a specific type of daily ritual that'll help enhance your life in some way. It might include a health habit, a case study. It might include a how to succeed type of training, etc. And then we'll do a live Q&A, and that's my favorite part, where I get to hear from you guys and you guys get to give feedback. I'll ask you what your one takeaway was. So whatever your takeaway was for that, that's when we'll talk about that. And then part 2, that's when, like I said, we'll get into the business discussion. We'll talk about business development, marketing, sales, monetization, positioning, systems, content creation, all that fun stuff. Sometimes we'll have a guest speaker, sometimes we won't, or a case study, and then a live panel Q&A. So today's epic training will be gratitude. Okay, so powerful. Gratitude as a start to your daily rituals, and why gratitude is the key to living the best version of your life, right? And this is one of the daily rituals that's inside of the LifeBinder that is one of the first things that you'll see when you pick it up is your gratitude list. It's one of the first things that can shift your energetic state, your mental state, your emotional state. So, one story of gratitude, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, The Secret, but they talk about this story in that movie, is that there's a gentleman and he's with his friend. He's visiting from South Africa, and he's getting keys out of his pocket, and he drops his keys and he drops a rock from out of his pocket, and the guy reaches down and picks it up. He's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Well, that's my gratitude rock. I just keep this rock in my pocket to remind me to be grateful of the little things in my life, like my kids, my house, my 2 legs, my 2 arms, and so forth." He's like, "Wow, cool. Gratitude rock." He picked it up. He looked at it. He goes, "Yeah, I keep it in my pocket. And then at the end it's the first thing I do in the morning. I grab it and I connect with what I'm grateful for. I keep it in my pocket all day. Every once in a while, I reach in my pocket. I'm reminded of what I'm grateful for. And then at the end of the night, the last thing I do at the end of the day is I empty my pockets with my keys and wallet, and I put the gratitude rock right there on my dresser." He goes, "Wow, that's so cool." So about a month passes. His friend goes back to his home in South Africa, and he gets a phone call from his friend. And he says, "Hey, I have really bad news. My 8-year-old son, he might be dying. He's got a really, rare case of a strain of hepatitis, extremely high fever. We don't know if he's going to make it. The doctors have tried everything. Could you please do me a favor? Can you please send me 3 gratitude rocks to my house here in South Africa?" And he goes, "Really? Okay. I mean, I'll do anything you want." He was kind of doubtful that it could do anything, but his friend had given him a request, and he wasn't going to let his friend down. So he went down, and this time he picked up some rocks from the river. He really spent time looking at each one. He grabbed 3 special rocks. He put them in a package. He got it shipped to South Africa right away. And he got a call after a few months had passed, about 3 or 4 months had passed, from his friend again. And he said, I wanted to call you and express my gratitude and my thanks. My son had a full recovery. It was almost miraculous. The doctors couldn't even believe it. By the way, we've also started our own gratitude rock business, and we started selling gratitude rocks for $10 a piece. And we've sold several thousand from all the neighboring, the villages nearby. And people have been coming in droves, and we've set up a charity to help kids in the hospital that were hurting, just like my son. And the guy was just blown away. This is a true story. And I welcome you to watch that movie, The Secret. But it was just shows the power of gratitude, of what's possible with that. So you already do daily rituals. Whether you know it or not, you already do. You might as well choose the ones that benefit you. Rituals on the one side, if you can see the one side, it says rituals that happen by default might include things like this. And this is, I'm definitely preaching to my own choir here, hitting the snooze button over and over and over again, right? Or going straight to email or Facebook upon waking. Raise your hand if you've gotten into that habit of going into Facebook or email. Yes, right? Worrying about all the things that you have to do right when you get up out of bed. Or focusing on all the problems, not the solutions, but the problems that are ahead of you. Or putting out fires, or living according to other people's agendas. Or good or bad days depending on luck. Gossiping, judging yourself, negative self-talk, no direction, no clarity, overthinking, which can lead to self-doubt, which can lead to procrastination, which is what creates self-sabotage. So that's one type of a ritual that can happen by default. But we look at rituals and rituals that can happen by your design. And that can include things like meditation, visualization, gratitude, which we're talking about today, breathing practice, your 30-day, 3-month, and 6-month intentions of where you want to go in your self, in your relationships, in your business, or whatever that is for you. A mental movie or some type of a way to imagine your future. Affirmations, vision board, avatar creation, yoga, exercise, daily action list, daily thank yous, count your 3 wins, create your day and life. So these are all things that affect your subconscious mind, which are what we learned last week, is that's what's affecting your habits, right? Your habits are your subconscious mind, 98%. And Jennifer Pearl, did they teach us back in school anything about the subconscious mind and how to create long-lasting success habits?
Never. Not at all.
They didn't really teach that, did they?
No, it was pretty much like textbook, Scantron,
Yeah, the banking system of education, memorize this, fill out the multiple choice. And I think it's a shame. I think that they really should create this inside of the public school system. Maybe one of you guys listening now will be the catalyst for change with that. Who knows?
Yeah.
So why do we default to negativity, right? Why are we biologically hardwired to go into negativity? Why do we, when we come home at the end of the night, start bitching and complaining about all the things that went wrong that day, right? And that's just how we're hardwired as human beings. So studies show we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. And for most people, 90% of those thoughts are negative and repetitive. So just imagine that. The implications of having repetitive negative thoughts and how that can play out into the actions of your life. Bruce Lee said, do not allow negative thoughts to enter your mind, for they are the weeds that strangle confidence. So now we're going to get into a little bit of science, okay? A little bit of bro science, but no, we'll actually bring up some studies. So let me just read 4 quick studies for you. So this first one is 2 psychologists, Dr. Robert Emmons of the University of California, Davis, Dr. Michael McCullough of the University of Miami, have done much of the research on gratitude. In one study, they asked all participants to write a few sentences each week focusing on particular topics. One group wrote about things that they were grateful for that occurred during the week. A second group wrote about daily irritations or things that had displeased them. And the third wrote about events that had affected them with no emphasis on them being positive or negative. After 10 weeks, those who wrote about gratitude were more optimistic, felt better about their lives. Surprisingly, they also exercised more. They had fewer visits to physicians than those who focused on sources of aggravation, right? So even affecting your physical health. Another leading researcher in this field, Dr. Martin Seligman, a psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, tested the impact of various positive psychology interventions on 411 people, each compared with the control assignment of writing about early memories. When their week's assignment was to write and personally deliver a letter of gratitude to someone who had never been properly thanked for his or her kindness, participants immediately exhibited a huge increase in happiness scores. This impact was greater than from any other intervention, with benefits lasting for a month. And I heard that this was a pivotal study. There was more written up on it that I didn't include, but they actually started using gratitude as like a way that psychologists could actually create change in people's lives after this study was done. Managers who remember to say thank you to people who work for them may find that those employees feel motivated to work harder. Researchers at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania randomly divided university fundraisers into two groups. One group made phone calls to solicit alumni donations in the same way they always had. The second group, assigned to work on a different day, received a pep talk from the director of annual giving, who told the fundraisers she was grateful for their efforts. During the following week, the university employees who heard her message of gratitude made 50% more fundraising calls than those who did not. Okay, so incredible, just the human behavior that can be evoked, right? Positive human behavior with just simple expressions of gratitude, right? Anessa and Tamika have both worked for me, and they're probably thinking to themselves right now, when did I ever get my gratitude, Forrest? When did I ever get my gratitude? Hopefully I express gratitude some of the time, but it really is true. People that I've worked with in the past didn't express gratitude, and it really did affect me. It just created such a low morale in me. I just hated my job in the past, different places I worked. So it just sucks when people don't recognize your hard work. Last one is an attitude of gratitude upgrades your hormones from oxytocin to cortisol and your neurotransmitters, including dopamine and serotonin, which Brittany Quidang on call right now is an expert in these. Recent data suggests gratitude provides behavioral and psychological glue. Oxytocin is associated with promoting the glue that connects adults in meaningful relationships. So not surprisingly, gratitude increases blood flow and activity to the hypothalamus, which is the master gland that controls the hormones. So that's how it can affect your body, your mind, and all those different aspects. A couple of other little things about gratitude in the human body, the human heart. The human heart's magnetic field can be measured several feet away from the body. Several feet away from the body. Negative emotions can create nervous system chaos, but positive emotions do the opposite. Positive emotions can increase the brain's ability to make good decisions. You can boost your immune system by focusing on positive emotions. A mother's brainwaves, this is really interesting, can synchronize to her baby's heartbeats, even when they're a few feet apart, right? So incredible. And I know there's some cat people here and some dog people. I wonder if pets, oh, there's the kitty, Jennifer's cat right there. Yes, I wonder if the pets can resonate with your heart and pick up on that. I think they can. Positive emotions create psychological benefits in your body. In fetal development, the heart forms and starts beating before the brain even begins to develop. So interesting facts. So what I could focus on versus what I choose to be grateful for. So what I could focus on. Now, this is my life personally, you guys. So me, Forrest Folan. This is what I could focus on if I focus on some of the wrong things. I could focus on, I'm not where I want to be right now physically. I got a little belly fat going on, a little Ben and Jerry's happening right now. I could stand to lose a couple, right? My knee might need surgery. It gives me pain when I run. Yeah, you too, Jennifer. My mom's MS has taken a downward turn, and that, if I dwell on that, it could really bring me into a downward spiral as well. One of my best friends growing up died last year. I've got a lot on my plate. It's too overwhelming. My kids aren't at their potential from where they could be. I've tried before and failed. Why should now be any different? I've failed my friends. I've failed my family. I've wasted so much time. I can't travel like I want to. I don't have the money I need. These are all the things I could focus on right now. Instead, here's what I choose to be grateful for. Today is a fresh start every day. I can press the reset button, right? Every single person can press the reset button 1,000 times. And once they hit 1,000, they can do it 1,000 more, right? You always have the reset button. My brother Doug wrote a song when he was younger in his band Tragedy Andy. They talked about in the song, it's never too late to start over, right? And it was such an incredible line. I have a roof over my head and clean air to breathe, right? I have a loving wife and 3 great healthy kids. My mom's MS has brought us closer. She has her good moments. Every day, things get better and better. I have the power to create any income level I choose. I get to volunteer my time to serve homeless families. I have 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears. I have many talents and abilities. My obstacles are blessings, teaching me and strengthening me. I don't live in my past. I rise because of my past. I can choose love in each moment. I have clean water and food. I'm 40 years old. I'm wise and strong and getting better every day. So this is the shift, right? The subtle shift in what could change everything. So here's what I propose to you. Start easy, okay? Start with gratitude. That's the first thing that we have in our Life Binder. And every week we'll go over a different aspect and we'll deep dive like we are today on a certain aspect. So step 1 is write down 5 to 10 things that you're grateful for. That's your gratitude list. Look at that first thing in the morning. Let that shift your consciousness. Let it shift your awareness. But it's not enough to just write it down. So I'll talk about that in a second. Step 2 is write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for that haven't happened yet. Okay, that haven't even happened yet, but you're grateful for them in the present tense. So for example, I am so grateful that I was able to have that, dream trip to Hawaii for 2 weeks and just have the best time of my life, right? Even if it hasn't happened yet, grateful like it's already occurred. Step 3, take time each morning to create and resonate gratitude in your body. What I mean by resonate, this is the most important part, you guys. The language of the subconscious mind is images and feelings. So unless you're feeling the gratitude, it doesn't start to really resonate. It doesn't release those neurotransmitters. It doesn't upregulate the hormones like we talked about. So feeling gratitude means to go through the gratitude list and to start to bring up the feelings associated with it and amplify those feelings inside of you. Breathe with it, feel it, let it come into your body, let it come into your bones, let it come into your mind, let it come into your heart. Express it and feel it and give yourself time to resonate with that. And it starts to build. It's like a muscle. It's like doing push-ups every day. So as you're doing this day in and day out, say on a scale of 1 to 10, you can only kind of resonate about a 6 or a 7 with your gratitude. Well, maybe the next day it's a 7.5. Maybe it's the next day it's an 8 until you can get to a 9, until you get to a 10, until you can like throw it on and off like a switch and you resonate gratitude more and more in your life. It literally is like a muscle. People make a mistake in thinking that gratitude is something on Thanksgiving. It's not. It's something that's accessible to you. It's a superpower, and you can exercise that superpower and make it stronger. And being grateful starts to attract more to the things that you're grateful for, and you start taking action toward those things. And here, I'll get into that later. But step 4, practice daily for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you'll increase your gratitude muscle over time. So, this is what I wanted to say. Gratitude and fear cannot coexist in the same moment. It's literally impossible. They just can't coexist at the same time. So if you're in a full state of resonant gratitude, you cannot hold fear in your body, mind, or heart. Does that make sense? It's impossible for that to happen. So the more you practice gratitude, the more you can abolish things like fear, self-doubt, worry, anxiety, all those things that are associated with fear. In the Life Binder, what we do is we introduce the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars are these: meditation, visualization, affirmation, and strategy of implementation. All right. So it's basically like, meditation is like feel it, visualization, see it, affirmation is speak it, and then strategy of implementation is all the things that we learn to implement it. Because you have to download this stuff consistently. Right now you're being conditioned by Facebook. You're being conditioned by local media. Hopefully you don't watch the news. I know certain people that watch the news every day, and you could just tell in their speech that that's what they're watching. It's on the tip of their tongue. And some of the stuff on Facebook is great. And then other stuff can really make you feel, down in the dumps. So having this will really create the type of mindset that you want to create for yourself. So in conclusion, remember this: whatever we think about and thank about, we bring about. Thank you guys so very much. I'm so very grateful for everybody here, for Jennifer, for Brittany, for Tamika, Anessa, for Doug. Reminder, you can download the Success Binder right now. I can let you into the private Facebook group. It's accessible to everybody. You could download it. You can start using it. We'll also be posting on the Facebook page with resources, having discussion, providing tips and strategy, and etc. on that. Some upcoming epic meetup lessons will include topics such as, we know what to do, but why don't we do what we know? Or how to use metrics to track your progress of successful habits like exercise, meditation, meal prep, things like that. How to treat your mind like a garden, pulling out weeds and replacing with a beautiful Zen flower garden. 3 ways to stop overthinking and feelings of overwhelm. Also the 4 A's, right? And I'll teach the 4 A's method. Yeah, that goes a little bit deeper. I won't get into it today, but how these create a path for reprogramming our unwanted past conditioning. And then limiting beliefs and how to create new powerful beliefs that serve your life now. And I just want to finish up with this story. Client of mine, Renee, this is probably like a year and a half ago, but she came to me with one of our fitness challenges. She wanted to lose 40 pounds and she was super depressed. She had all these different problems going on. And I noticed in her speech pattern, she kept on saying, everything keeps on happening to me. And every time I get 2 steps ahead, then something, gets in front of my way and it just destroys me. And, every time I try to lose weight, I can't do it. What's wrong with me? And I noticed in her speech pattern, she just kept on saying me over again. And I was listening to her, and believe me, I was sympathetic to her things that she was going on. She's a mother. She didn't have any money. She didn't have any time. It was a lot of poor health in her family. But I said, you know what, Renee? I kind of flipped the script on her. And I think I shocked her at first. I said, you know what your problem is? It's really in your language. I'm noticing you're focused on me. Every other word is about me. I think you're just too wrapped up in the things that are happening to you and you can't rise above it. So here's what I suggest. I know you have nothing right now, but I want you to start giving back to other people. Figure out a way to just give back. Figure out a way to go down on the beach. We have that Saturday boot camp and just start giving out sandwiches or whatever. I don't care what it is. Maybe it's smiles. Maybe it's, high fives, but just go down there with us. Start giving back. Will you do that for me? And at first she was totally shocked. Her jaw hit the floor. She didn't even know what to say. And then she realized I had helped her in the past. And so she trusted me. And she said, you know what? Okay, I'll do it. She reached out to her friend Bonnie, and together they started this little club called the Give Back Club. And they started going down to the beach and they started to prepare food. And they put the food in these warmers, and she started giving out meals to the homeless down there. And they started to bring in blankets, and they started to get little toiletry bags together with toothpaste and toothbrush. And they started to, there was this group of ladies that were knitting beanies and giving them out. And they had socks and shoes and resources for the homeless people down there. And it just blew up. Anyways, 4 months later, she met up with me. She came up and tears started dropping down her face. And she says, you were right, coach, you were right. And she had lost 40 pounds and she was no longer depressed. And she was glowing with just extreme happiness coming from the inside. And it all had to do with learning how to be grateful for all the little things and stop focusing on herself and start focusing on the bigger picture. Right. And so that was the story of Renee, and we're still really good friends to this day. So we're about to start the live Q&A, and then we'll break into the business and visions meeting. And so if you aren't already involved in this community in some way, you can go to the Patreon site that I set up. It's www.patreon.com/lifebinder. And I've created ways that you can get involved in like 5 different levels you can get involved. So pick the level that's best for you, but I would love for you to get involved in some way, because what we're doing is making an impact. Because I believe wholeheartedly that when you focus on yourself, you can then empower others, and it does change the world, right? Or it changes someone's world. And that's what I wholeheartedly believe. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of ask that you guys, maybe each person just kind of give their one thing of feedback. What is their one thing, one takeaway that you got from this? I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share now. What was your one takeaway? Who would like to go first? Jennifer, is that you?
I can definitely go. I
Great.
definitely believe the whole gratitude thing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I'm actually reading a book right now called Think and Grow Rich, and it's about gratitude. And I've read many other books, Reinventing the Soul by Deepak Chopra and stuff like that. And
That's a great book. Love it. Yes.
It's a really good book.
Yeah.
And I keep a journal. It's not really a journal. It's a gratitude book by the side of my bed. And every time I go to bed at night, I write down even the simplest of things. It could be, I'm so thankful that I have my comfy pillows.
Yeah.
Lay my head down on. And I don't know if that's because I've traveled to places where I know that, we're such an entitled society here. It is really easy to just get involved in this everyday like downpour of, oh, I don't have what that guy has.
Yeah.
We have so much more than most people. And yeah, I think it just in general makes a big difference. But I tend to be an overthinker, and I think that's one of my issues. As you can tell, I talk too much.
No, you don't talk too much, but yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, and so I'll mull things over in my mind, and it's hard to go to bed sometimes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know that although I think like control is like an illusion, I do think that you can control how you approach a situation, or how you decide to deal with something. If you're grateful, you tend to be more open to the positive side of things. So I appreciate what you're talking about.
I love that.
Sorry I was late too.
No, that's okay. I'm so thankful that you got on, Jennifer. It's really good just to see you and to reconnect with you. And I have so many great memories of us, so it's just so great. Yeah, the party days. Yeah.
Oh God.
But yeah, I totally agree. And I think that I can get into those that overwhelmed state where my mind the chatter just doesn't stop. And it can just lead me into a paralysis sometimes of not taking action. And but and I agree with you what you said too. I love that you said control can be just just an illusion. Like what is control anyways? What does that even mean? And so that's something definitely worth exploring. But like you were saying, it really just gratitude can open your perspective up. And take 2 people side by side, and one with gratitude and one without, living in the same environment, and you can just imagine what their life would look like, right? So yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate you. Yes, peace. Who would like to go next? What was your one takeaway? Anessa? Oh, I can't hear you. Hello? Hello? Maybe it's the headphones.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, there. Okay. All right, my takeaway. Definitely, I recognize how I bring home negativity without even thinking about it. The first thing I want to share with anybody I talk to when my day is done is the bad things that have happened, or the things that maybe annoyed me, or just I notice that I pay more attention to the negative things. And I start my day with like there's some coworkers that I really don't get along with, and I'm like, great, I got to go see them, or I just start my day already thinking about negative things.
Yeah.
So this gratitude list is, I think I'm most excited about that
Hmm.
because I want to start training myself to prepare my mind for positive things, and I want to look at my day in a positive way, and then not let the bad things affect me so much and weaken my mind so much that it alters my direction of my day. And I want to have more control of that.
Yeah.
So definitely the negativity, bringing that home. I don't even want to talk about negative things. I want to get to that point where what comes out of my mouth is all positive as much as I can.
Yeah, most definitely. I love that, Inessa. And somebody told me one time, like, if you have a box of oranges, but there's no oranges in the box, but you're trying to share a box of oranges, right? So you pass the box around, and people reach inside, but there's no oranges there. So basically, you can't give what you don't have, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the night, if you don't have anything to give, then it's impossible, because you can't serve from what's called your overflow, right? You're serving what's called the empty cup or the empty box of oranges. So the whole thing is to how do you fill your cup? How do you really generate the type of energy early on in your day? So when you come home, you're so full of emotional, like your fulfillment. There's something inside of you. It's not just a thought, but it's an actual feeling that you're resonating. And so when you come home, you can't help but share the good things. And so the gratitude list will create a biofeedback loop within you. And so practicing it and doing it's like push-ups, right? You'll come home and you'll be like, hey guys, guess what? Something happened to me. It totally sucked, but guess what? This happened to me. That was totally good. And let's do this tonight. Let's do that. You'll be like a totally different person. Cause
And it's the excitement too. Like
yeah,
when you focus on the negative things, like I recognize I'm not as inspired to do anything when I get home. I'm kind of mentally exhausted because, being negative does drain you. And I'm promoting it with people I talk to. Like instead of uplifting them, I can bring them down too. Like what if they were in a really good mood and I'm just dwelling on negativity? Like I'm feeding them that as well. And
yeah.
then that opens them to be negative and tell me and relate to me in a negative way instead of positive and inspiring, or in a way that we can feed off each other. So
Yes,
yeah.
that is great, and I see a lot of heads nodding. So it seems like a lot of people can resonate with that. Thank you so much, Inessa. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Someone else. What is your one takeaway, Brittany? Oh, that's right. She lost her voice.
Can I?
Let's give a peace sign to Brittany. Thank you for being here, Brittany. Yes, I can hear your heart
I can
speaking.
touch on something for you.
You don't even have to have a voice. All right, just your smile says it all. Thank you so much. Doug, what was your one takeaway today?
Yeah, I could touch on the gratitude part about giving praise and celebration to your peers and those who you work around. And do you have the ability to go back to that slide where you were talking about that point, or no?
Oh, which slide?
It was about congratulating people at work and how giving praise definitely affects your positivity
Yes.
around the people that you work with, or
Right.
like in your case, the people that you train, and
right. The slide right here.
so forth. Yeah. So I mean, really, I just wanted to touch briefly on it because I have to drop off the call in 4 minutes. But I've been in situations at work, for instance, the last job that I worked, where we really didn't have in place a system where we congratulated each other, like at a morning meeting, for example, where we could just say, hey, X co-worker did something that really impressed me and it really helped me out today or yesterday, and I really want to congratulate them for making my job easier. you know, and stuff like that is really, really important for motivation at work. And so that job really, really didn't make me happy. And I noticed that within maybe 3 months, I mean, probably even quicker than that actually, but it only took me about 3 months where I was just super, you know, tired of working there. And I only lasted there for 6 months, because, you know, it just didn't make me happy ultimately. However, I've had other positions that have lasted years, you know, 2.5, 3 years, where we've had great leadership. And I noticed in those positions that lasted a longer duration, there were these systems where we congratulated each other during the morning meeting, and we just said, hey, I really appreciate you for, you know, this, whatever it could be, and just small things too. It doesn't have to be something huge.
Right.
Just, you know, you had a conversation with me when we walked in the store this morning, and, you know, it made me smile. And that made my day like so much better, you know. So like that type of gratitude, that type of affirming affirmation, that sort of praise is like super important.
Yeah, and when you think about an organization, organizations are made up of individuals, right? And so, you know, it starts at the individual level where, you know, somebody can have the wherewithal and the awareness to bring that into the actual company culture, which sounds like, you know, you've had some of that experience. And so it, like, the implications are huge because it could be so vast where it's like an organization, it's a group of friends, but it all starts with you, right? Like the first person that you wake up with and that looks at you back in the mirror is yourself. And that's the first person that we have to check in with and say hello to. And a lot of people, when they look in the mirror, they start thinking of how much they're, you know, of all the things that they're lacking, really. You know, my bank account's not where it's at. My body's not where it's at. My relationships aren't where they at. So this is how we flip the script with this. So that's a great point, Doug, is how it works with just the little things that we can say to each other, right? So thank you so much, Doug. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you, Forrest.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Tamika, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. What's your takeaway? I see you raised your hand. I didn't know how to.
I know you kept trying to unmute me. Don't worry, we'll figure it out. So I just wanted to say my takeaway is that, I mean, I'm very grateful for everything that I have. I just get so frustrated and I can't stay focused because it's just like so many things. And I'm always usually happy and I'm just like, this is not me. And I couldn't figure it out. And now, like tonight, I think a light went on. I got to just appreciate what I really, really do have.
Yeah.
And make sure that I'm putting some time in just for me.
Yes. Yes.
That's my takeaway.
That's beautiful. You know,
I gave out all my oranges. I have none, and I keep shaking the tree. The tree has nothing on there. The tree is dead now. I'm shaking it, still shaking it. I got to get some plant food at this point.
Well, that's what this is, you know, and like, you know, mindset. You know, you can have the best seed in the world, and the seed is the strategy. The seed is that book that someone gave you. The seed is the plan or the blueprint, right? You can have the perfect plan. You know, Steve Jobs can give you the plan on how to run an organization, or, you know, whatchamacallit, Julian Michaels can give you the perfect workout plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and that's the seed, but unless you have the mindset to take that in and run with it and not reject it out, Think and Grow Rich, right? You can have the Think and Grow Rich book in your hand, which is the book, but unless you put that to action, it'll never happen. So working on your mindset. So these things in the Life Binder, and you're going to see over time, is there's a lot of little things that kind of work cohesively to create a synergistic effect to up-level your mindset, which the mindset is the soil and the strategy is the seed. And then, so the strategy is not as important in my because the strategy is attainable by anybody. You know, it's not hard, but unless you have the mindset first, you can't go very far. You know, my martial arts instructor used to say, I can train anybody, but if they come in with a bad attitude, I can't take them anywhere. And which is so true, right? And so, yeah. And so we're gonna switch into the business conversation. So if you came just for this portion of it, thank you so much. If you have any friends, we're gonna keep doing this every single week, you guys. Every single Tuesday at 6:30. I want this to be a place where you can be open. You can review things for your life. You can deep dive into this with us. Have an open conversation, deeper dialogue, if you will, about life and just whatever. You know, if it recharges your battery or if it gives you special, you know, certain insights into things that you can apply, and it helps you connect and network with people, whatever it is for why you come on here. I'm just really grateful for you because you're the first, right? You're the first to start this new journey. So thank you for being on this journey with me, and namaste. Thank you guys so much.
Namaste.
We'll do the business part of it. We'll do it actually a little bit quicker than normal. We had a bunch of people that couldn't make it just because of the holidays. You know, people like Eva and Donna and Annika and a bunch of people that are going to be playing an integral role. But if you can stay on here, I'm just going to kind of overview, you know, some of the things. I don't have a slideshow prepared, but I just wanted to talk about where this is going. And I also wanted to share with you really quick a new website that I created around this project. And it's basically, I'm bringing it up now. It's a website that is going to have a really cool blog on it about daily rituals. And it gives us a chance to, if you want to be a contributor to the blog and do a guest blog post, love to have you. That'd be so cool. If you want to write about some type of aspect of daily rituals or mindset or gratitude, or even like review a book like Think and Grow Rich would be so cool. So any kind of way that you would want to, get involved. I'll bring up the site right now so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see here, share screen. So it's basically a daily rituals site. Can you guys see that? Yes, cool. So it says, you know, daily mindset rituals for living the good life rituals. These are just kind of names I put in there for now. I don't have any kind of names set in stone yet. Even the name Lifebinder is still being voted on by you guys, the beta group. But this is about living a lifestyle of freedom. You know, living life on your terms. And so there's an opening page. I tried to make it inspirational. Some of the pictures, you know, like the mountain bike and the who doesn't love a hammock with feet in a tropical setting? That says it all to me. And then there's a blog down here. These blog posts haven't been created yet. They're just like fillers, but you know, for example, why daily rituals are the key to living the good life, or 5 morning rituals that will vastly improve your life, 7 successful icons in their daily rituals. And so eventually this will have, you know, people can go to this site, get resources that are totally free. And then if they want to be part of the community, there'll be some, levels where they can engage there. And then meet the team. I have some of the people that, have voiced that they're going to be part of this project. So people like Kristen Campbell, it's her birthday today. So hi, Kristen, if you're watching this, happy birthday. And, we missed you on the call, but I know you're having a great time down in Costa Rica right now. And then we have Brittany here and Annika and everybody that wants to be involved in like kind of the growth of this. And if Jennifer, if you want to be involved in the growth of this, let me know. And we can add you to the team for sure. We got Donna, we got Jessica, Leah, who she's a police officer, and she envisions taking this into the prison systems and using this with the police force, which is so cool. And so the cool thing about this is as it grows, what I want for the people that kind of come along for the ride is, this isn't going to be some type of multi-level marketing thing. It's going to be something where you can create a legitimate business. So for example, it would be like, Tamika's, consulting or whatever. And then people can sign on with you, and you can use the methods that I show you, Tamika, to create your own list of clientele. So it might be, a certain type of person that you want to work with. It might be, just, women, or just people that want to lose weight, or just, cat owners, or just, people that, are into hiking, whatever it is, right? Mitchell, Eva, and then Martha Gonzalez. Martha is another one who is like a super power player. I just met with her, and she's got some really great insights and things that she's bringing to the table. Doug, my brother, who was just on, Donna Sweeney, she's a scientist going to school to be a nurse. I mean, not a nurse, a holistic doctor. So it's very incredible. And Annika, who couldn't make the call tonight, is going to be providing some incredible, just all kinds of different things for us here in the group. So as this develops, I'm going to be putting together plans and posting them on the Facebook page, and I'll email the team that wants to be involved in the beta group with more and more details as we go. So especially over these next 2 weeks, which are kind of like the weeks that I kind of take as down weeks every year to kind of go introspective and to hibernate a little bit. These are the weeks. Hi, Mitzi, how you doing? Thanks for coming on. So I'm going to take these 2 weeks to kind of really get into game planning mode, and I'm taking everybody's suggestions. So get onto the Facebook page, just vomit out any suggestions that you have. And I want to go through all of that and kind of, create like an idea list, like an idea bucket. And then we can vote on what we want to move forward with and what we don't want to move forward with, and that type of thing. So, so far what we have is that we want to create a binder. We don't want to have it as a journal. We want to have it as a binder, because a binder can be customized. We also want to make it so that it can be beautifully customized. Martha had done some research and found online these and she posted about it. She posted in the Facebook group, like these beautiful binders that are kind of like this faux leather with this nice interior, something that you just feel good with when you're carrying it around. And we can have different artists even collaborate into, the creation of these. And then as we go, we're going to be writing and sculpting and creating like the framework, so that you can have the gratitude list, and then it can go into a mental movie, and then it can go into a short 10-minute yoga practice to kind of revitalize your body, and then a breathing practice, and then it can go into more of a planning stage where you plan out your day and your month, and you can get clear on your intentions. Where are you going in your life with the different aspects of your life, health, career, all those different things. So that's kind of where we're going with it, guys. Another thing is, if you can invite people, please do. Every week we're going to continue to build this community. And that's all I got for right now for the business aspect of things. Before I kind of finish off the call, does anybody want to does anybody have any last minute, feedback for me, or feedback for the group, or anything you'd like to say?
I think you're doing a great job.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it, Brittany. Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, thanks, Tamika. Yeah, it's a passion project, and it's been in the works for a long time. And I like the idea of just, getting away from apps for a little bit and carrying something with you that can resonate, gratitude, can resonate your life, can resonate something that means something to you, where it's like, I'm working on myself for this half an hour, or I'm working on myself for this hour. And I do this for 5 to 6 days a week, and I make it a practice. And then that's filling up your cup. That's shaking the orange tree, right? And filling up that box of oranges, so that when you come home at the end of the day, like Anessa was saying, we have the oranges to pass around to the people that we love. We become so much more inspired in the way that we live. We become real power players in our community because of that energy that we're bringing. So thank you so much, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And, please reach out to me on a private message if you want to talk any further. But, yeah, I'll have everybody say goodbye.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Brittany. I hope your voice does better. Thank you, Tamika.
Thank you. It was amazing.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.